For most of my life, I struggled with imposter syndrome. And despite becoming a doctor or building a business, I constantly have these thoughts like, wait, do I truly deserve this? Or am I just a phony? And one of these days, people are going to discover that I have no clue what I'm doing. And so it's taken me a long time to understand why I feel this way, why most of us probably feel this way about something in our lives. And it's changed my entire approach to pursuing goals. So imposter syndrome is when we have this overwhelming feeling of self-doubt, even if we have evidence of achieving things. And the more validation and the more reassurance we get, it actually makes us feel even more like a fraud. It's like, I didn't deserve to be here before, and I still don't deserve to be here now. Think of like Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. Like, no matter how badass his lightning breathing is or how strong he becomes in training, he still feels like he doesn't belong. Something else I've learned is that imposter syndrome doesn't discriminate. Everyone from the most elite entrepreneurs to the everyday college student share this experience. And almost all of it can be traced somewhere back to our upbringing. Whether that was being told we aren't good enough or being constantly compared to our perfect cousin or perfect siblings and stuff. Dang it, Mike. But if we can understand how imposter syndrome works, then we can develop strategies to overcome it. And so I want to share 3 lessons that helped me overcome and deal with imposter syndrome. First thing is that imposter syndrome isn't a handicap, it's an advantage. Imposter syndrome is a disguised variant for fear of failure. So normally we'd expect accomplishing something great, like getting an A+ on an exam, is cause for celebration. But for some reason, our mind thinks the opposite. Imposter syndrome makes us believe that our effort didn't contribute to that success. And so we get stressed and we ruminate on our self-worth. But the reason we feel like imposters is because we care too much about what could happen if we fail. And that stress response is an adaptation that actually makes us try harder, which is weirdly kind of a good thing, right? I mean, it's probably not the healthiest type of motivation, doing something because you're afraid of negative consequences, but I can't deny from my own life that fear of failure has gotten me through a lot of tough challenges. And in fact, ironically, imposter syndrome can lead to higher achievement. It's especially prevalent in competitive medical environments. There was a 2021 study in the American College of Surgeons that found 76% of training surgeons experience significant or severe imposter syndrome. Maybe what you need to do is embrace imposter syndrome. Use it to your advantage. It's not a curse. It's a tool that makes us try harder. But we have to understand that it comes from our insecurity, our fear of failure, in order to use it properly. Number 2, you're not special. And I mean this in the most sincere and loving way possible. In psychology, there's this term called the spotlight effect, where we tend to think people are paying close attention to us much more than they actually are. Like when I'm at the gym and I struggle to lift really light weights and I feel like everyone's just watching and judging me. But the thing is, no one really cares. During 4th year of med school, I had to do AIs, not artificial intelligence, acting internships. There are these rotations where 4th year students act as junior doctors and take on the full responsibility of caring for patients. Basically everything that a resident does, but we don't get paid for it. Those first few patients I cared for, I had crazy imposter syndrome. Anytime I spoke to my patients or to my team, I would think, I'm not qualified to do this. I'm not even a real doctor yet. I had such low confidence. One day I forgot to ask a nurse to grab a super obvious blood test for my patient. And I was so embarrassed, feeling extra impostery, as I had to go tell her, hey, I forgot to add a CBC for a patient, Mr. X. I'm so sorry, I'm just a medical student. And she looked up at me, very flustered, and said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm also new. I was supposed to verify labs with you. You probably think I'm dumb. Like, funny enough, we had the same reaction. She was so concerned I thought she looked dumb that she didn't even realize I was thinking the exact same thing about her. Like, we're all so caught up and wrapped up in our own heads, thinking that everyone is judging us, but in reality, we're all just too worried about ourselves. You're not special. That's a really good thing. That realization was really freeing for me. And number 3 is to expose yourself. Not like that, no. What I mean is, be an open book about who you are. Be publicly transparent to everyone about your qualifications and your mistakes and your failures. And if that scares you, then do it anyways, because this is by far the most powerful strategy I've come across to overcome imposter syndrome, because it taps into the psychology of how our mind works. Like, I literally can't believe I'm an imposter if I'm being honest and upfront about everything imposter-like that I'm doing. No one can expose me for being fake if I'm admitting to everyone that I'm being fake. And no, I'm not being fake right now. This is why Mike and I don't claim to be experts at what we do. Firstly, to cover our own bases, right? But also, we always want to give credit to the authors and the scientists and the superstars that we're inspired by. And on our channel, we share our personal experiences with self-improvement because we like it. And we want to help as many people as possible build a life that they also love. Because the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all solution to most of your problems, especially the problems symptoms related to how you should live your life. This is also why like 99% of everything we do is public and free, from our YouTube channel to our podcast and newsletter to our music. And so this way, there's absolutely no room for confusion about what Cajun Koi Academy is all about. And my imposter brain can't ruminate on anything since there's nothing to go off of. So these strategies have really helped me regain a sense of control over my mental health. And I hope that they can serve you as well. Don't let imposter syndrome hold you back. There are ways to reframe the way you think about it. Let me know in the comments below what parts about imposter syndrome do you struggle with? What thoughts do you normally have? I can guarantee that you're not the only one who feels that way. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.